Bonnie Clyde parallel, Jason Duval and Lucia Caminos in Grand Theft Auto 6. The duo at the center of Rockstar's most anticipated game draws direct inspiration from America's most infamous criminal couple, Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow. The real Bonnie and Clyde terrorized the southern United States during the Great Depression, robbing banks and gas stations across multiple states before meeting their violent end on May 23, 1934. Louisiana officers ambushed their stolen Ford V8 on a rural road in Bienville Parish, firing over 130 rounds into the vehicle. Neither survived. Rockstar hasn't been subtle about this connection. The official artwork for GTA 6 shows Jason and Lucia leaning against a vapid Criado, and eagle-eyed fans immediately notice 6 distinct bullet holes in the car's body. The symbolism becomes even more deliberate when you consider the release date. Grand Theft Auto 6 launches on May 26, 2026, exactly one day after the 92nd anniversary of Bonnie Parker's burial. This parallel suggests Rockstar plans to honor the doomed romance while modernizing it for Vice City's neon-soaked streets. If history repeats itself, Jason and Lucia's criminal spree won't end with retirement in the Florida Keys. Hidden gun. One image from the second trailer has dominated fan discussions since May 2025. During what appears to be an intimate moment, Lucia embraces Jason from behind in what should be a tender scene, but frame-by-frame analysis reveals something disturbing. Lucia holds a pistol behind Jason's back, concealed from his view, but visible to players. The composition is deliberate, the framing too precise to be accidental. Rockstar has always been masterful at visual storytelling, hiding narrative clues in promotional materials that only make sense after playing through the story. This image could be literal foreshadowing of betrayal, showing Lucia prepared to turn on Jason when the moment demands it. Alternatively, it might represent something more symbolic, the constant danger lurking beneath their romance. The reality that survival in their world means always being ready for violence, even against those you love. Either interpretation suggests the same conclusion. Trust between Jason and Lucia exists on a knife's edge, and that edge will eventually draw blood. Jason undercover cop. The most persistent theory about Jason Duval centers on his true identity. When Jason arrives at Leonida Penitentiary to meet Lucia after her release, a correctional officer stops him with a question that's launched 1,000 Reddit threads. The guard asks if he's seen Jason there before. Jason responds with a casual, maybe, that feels loaded with subtext. Why would a prison guard recognize someone who's just picking up a released inmate? The theory gains credibility when you examine Jason's background. His official character bio confirms he served in the army. After a troubled adolescence, attempting to escape a life surrounded by grifters and crooks, that military service failed to keep him straight, and he ended up working for drug runners in the Florida Keys. But details in the promotional materials tell a different story. Jason wears what appears to be military dog tags in the official artwork. A closer look at robbery footage shows he's wearing a tactical watch on his wrist, the kind issued to military and law enforcement personnel. Most damning is his appearance in one piece of official art, where Jason wears green cargo pants that perfectly match the uniform of the Miami-Dade Police Department's SWAT division. These aren't random wardrobe choices. Rockstar is meticulous about character design, and every visible detail serves the narrative. Fed accusations scene. The second trailer includes a moment that adds fuel to the undercover theory. During what appears to be a tense conversation, an off-screen voice directly asks if Jason is a Fed, using criminal slang for federal agent. The editing provides no answer, instead cutting immediately to footage of police officers, a transition too pointed to be coincidental. This scene raises multiple possibilities. If Jason truly is undercover, someone in Vice City's criminal underworld has grown suspicious. The accusation could come from a rival gang member, a paranoid associate, or even someone within their own crew who's noticed inconsistencies in Jason's story. The lack of visible response from Jason in the trailer is telling. Rockstar deliberately obscures his face throughout much of the first trailer's footage, showing him from behind, in shadow, or at angles that prevent clear identification. This directorial choice suggests his identity itself is significant to the plot. Compare this to Lucia, whose face appears clearly and repeatedly throughout both trailers. The disparity isn't accidental. Rockstar wants players questioning who Jason really is, and that question hangs over every scene he appears in. If he is working with law enforcement, whether as an active agent or a criminal turned informant, the revelation will shatter whatever trust he's built with Lucia and position him as either a tragic figure caught between two worlds or a calculated manipulator who's been playing Lucia from the start. Lucia master manipulator. While Jason faces accusations of deception, Lucia's official characterization paints her as the true strategist in in their partnership. Her bio on Rockstar's website describes someone who learned to fight as soon as she could walk, whose father taught her that life would always come at her swinging. She spent time in Leonida Penitentiary for fighting to protect her family, and her release came through what the bio calls sheer luck. But the most revealing line comes at the end. Lucia's learned her lesson, only smart moves from here. That's not the language of someone going straight, it's the language of someone who got caught, being reckless, and now plans to be more careful. Her ambitions are clear. She wants the good life her mother dreamed of since their days in Liberty City, but she's done waiting for it. She's prepared to take matters into her own hands. Trailer footage supports this characterization. During robbery sequences, Lucia appears assertive and in control, calling shots and taking charge while Jason provides muscle. Her demeanor during heists suggests someone who thrives on the adrenaline of crime rather than someone forced into it by circumstance. Fans have latched onto the theory that Lucia might be manipulative, willing to use Jason's feelings for her to advance her own goals. If she suspects he's working with law enforcement, she might be playing along, feeding him information, or steering him away from parts of their operation. The gun behind his back suddenly looks less like a moment of passion and more like a woman who's always ready to eliminate a threat. Multiple ending structure. Grand Theft Auto 5 gave players 3 possible endings. Kill Trevor, where Franklin murders the psychotic Trevor Phillips at the FIB's request. Kill Michael, where Franklin kills his mentor Michael DeSanta to satisfy billionaire Devin Weston. Or Death Wish, where all 3 protagonists team up to eliminate their enemies and survive together. GTA Online later confirmed Death Wish as the canon ending, but those other options existed and forced players into agonizing choices. Rockstar has established a pattern of morally complex conclusions that put player agency at the center. Grand Theft Auto 6 appears positioned to continue this trend. Leaked development footage from 2022 included references to personality systems, specifically meters tracking romantic versus pragmatic choices and cool versus chaotic behavior. These systems suggest the game will monitor how players approach missions and relationships, potentially tracking whether you prioritize loyalty over profit, whether you choose violence or subtlety, whether you nurture Jason and Lucia's relationship, or let it deteriorate through selfish choices. If these systems made it into the final game, they could determine which ending players receive. A romantic and cool playthrough might see Jason and Lucia survive together, escaping Vice City to start fresh. A pragmatic and chaotic approach might end with one betraying the other for personal gain. The possibilities multiply when you consider that GTA 6 features 2 protagonists with their own perspectives and motivations, rather than the 3 distinct personalities of GTA 5. Quick note, if you're into gaming theories like this, I create content like this all the time. Subscribing would really help out. One dies choice. The darkest popular theory suggests Grand Theft Auto 6 will force players to choose which protagonist survives. This wouldn't be unprecedented. GTA 5 already asked players to kill Michael or Trevor, characters they'd spent dozens of hours developing relationships with. Red Dead Redemption 2 killed Arthur Morgan in an emotionally devastating sequence that left players grieving for weeks. Rockstar has proven willing to hurt its audience if it serves the story. The difference with GTA 6 is the intimacy of the choice. Jason and Lucia aren't just partners in crime like Franklin and Trevor. They're not mentor and student like Michael and Franklin. They're lovers, a romantic couple whose bond forms the emotional core of the narrative. Asking players to choose which one dies transforms the decision from tactical to deeply personal. Do you save Jason, the military veteran trying to escape his past, but possibly hiding his true allegiance? Or do you save Lucia, the ambitious survivor who's been fighting since childhood and might be manipulating everyone around her? The choice becomes even more agonizing if players have switched between both characters throughout the game, experiencing the story from both perspectives, understanding both their motivations and vulnerabilities. Post-game content would continue with the survivor, exploring how they cope with the loss and whether they can build anything meaningful from the ruins. Some fans speculate the game might load back to a save point before the final mission, allowing players to see all endings without permanent consequences. But Rockstar has never shied away from making choices matter, even when those choices hurt. Both die together. There's a third option that's even more tragic than choosing between them. Both protagonists die together in a blaze of glory, refusing to betray each other, and going down fighting against impossible odds. This ending would truly honor Bonnie and Clyde, who died together in that Louisiana ambush, loyal to each other even as bullets tore through their car. The official synopsis for Grand Theft Auto 6 reads, Jason and Lucia have always known the deck is stacked against them, but when an easy score goes wrong, they find themselves on the darkest side of the sunniest place in America, in the middle of a criminal conspiracy stretching across the state of Leonida, forced to rely on each other more than ever if they want to make it out alive. That final phrase, If they want to make it out alive carries enormous weight. It's not when they make it out or as they make it out. It's if, acknowledging that survival isn't guaranteed. The emphasis on being forced to rely on each other more than ever suggests circumstances will test their bond to its breaking point. Perhaps the game's final mission offers a third option beyond betrayal. Stand together against the FIB, the Vice City Police Department, and every criminal organization they've crossed. Go out shooting, back to back, proving that some bonds are worth dying for. It would be devastating, emotionally brutal, and exactly the kind of ending Rockstar has mastered in recent years. Players would be left with nothing but the memory of their crime spree, and the knowledge that in a world as corrupt and violent as GTA's America, maybe love is the only thing worth fighting for, even when the fight is doomed from the start. Liberty City Connection. Lucia's official biography reveals she has roots in Liberty City, the fictionalized New York that's appeared in multiple Grand Theft Auto games. She and her mother spent time there before moving to Leonida, dreaming of a better life that never materialized through legitimate means. This connection matters for several reasons. Liberty City has always represented ambition and failure in the GTA universe, a place where people come chasing the American dream and usually end up broken by it. Nico Bellic came to Liberty City in Grand Theft Auto 4, searching for the man who betrayed his unit and hoping to start fresh in America. He ended the game wealthy, but alone, having lost nearly everyone he cared about to violence. Luis Lopez, in the Ballad of Gay Tony expansion, tried to help his boss maintain their nightclub empire while navigating gang violence and financial ruin. Johnny Klebitz in The Lost and Damned watched his motorcycle club tear itself apart before ultimately dying at Trevor Phillips' hands in GTA 5. Liberty City chews people up and spits them out, and Lucia apparently learned this lesson early. Her mother's dreams of the good life remained fantasies, half-baked notions that went nowhere. Lucia decided she wouldn't wait around hoping things would improve. She's taking matters into her own hands, using crime as a ladder to climb toward the life her mother wanted but could never achieve. This backstory adds dimension to her character and explains her ruthless ambition. She's seen what happens to people who play by the rules and wait for their turn. They stay poor, they stay struggling, and they die with their dreams unfulfilled. Lucia refuses to accept that fate. Trust central theme. Trust permeates every piece of promotional material Rockstar has released for Grand Theft Auto 6. The first trailer includes a pivotal moment where Lucia turns to Jason and says, "The only way we're gonna get through this is by sticking together, being a team. Trust?" That single word, delivered as a question rather than a statement, encapsulates the game's thematic core. She's not declaring they trust each other, she's asking if they can, if they should, if trust is even possible in their world. Jason's character biography on Rockstar's website reinforces this uncertainty. After describing his troubled background and military service, the bio states that meeting Lucia could be the best or worst thing to ever happen to him. Not will be, but could be, maintaining ambiguity about whether their relationship will save him or destroy him. The next line continues. Jason knows how he'd like it to turn out, but right now, it's hard to tell. He's uncertain. He wants to trust Lucia, wants to believe in their partnership, but something prevents him from committing fully. The official synopsis drives the theme home again, explaining that Jason and Lucia find themselves forced to rely on each other more than ever if they want to make it out alive. Forced, not choosing. The situation will demand trust, even if they're not ready to give it freely. Rockstar is setting up a narrative where trust must be earned and maintained against constant pressure, where every choice could strengthen or weaken the bond between protagonists, where the difference between survival and death comes down to whether two damaged people can believe in each other when everything around them screams betrayal. Jason left-handed. A small detail that fans have latched onto is Jason's left-handedness. Throughout trailer footage and promotional artwork, Jason consistently holds weapons and tools in his left hand, making him potentially the first left-handed protagonist in the Grand Theft Auto series. Previous protagonists like Tommy Vercetti, Carl Johnson, Nico Bellic, and the GTA 5 trio were all right-handed. The choice to make Jason left-handed might seem insignificant, but Rockstar doesn't make design decisions randomly. The word sinister derives from the Latin word for left, and throughout history, left-handedness has been associated with bad luck, untrustworthiness, and evil. Many cultures considered left-handed people suspicious or cursed. The devil was often depicted as left-handed in medieval art. Even today, the phrase left-handed compliment means something that seems positive, but carries hidden negativity. By making Jason left-handed, Rockstar might be subtly coding him as untrustworthy or doomed from the start. This visual detail could foreshadow his role in the story, whether as someone who betrays Lucia, gets betrayed himself, or simply represents bad luck personified. It's the kind of symbolic layering Rockstar excels at, hiding narrative hints in plain sight for players to discover and debate. Whether intentional character design or fan over-analysis, Jason's left-handedness has become part of the discourse around his fate, another piece of evidence suggesting things won't end well for Vice City's newest Bonnie and Clyde. If this was worth your time, subscribing means you'll catch every new video I make. Thanks for watching.